Hello, and thanks for listening to Sorry, Please Continue. This episode was recorded back on October 20th at the Heavy Anchor in St. Louis, Missouri, and the theme is revenge. It's a really fun one. I just now listened to it for the first time. I wasn't there because I was at it was the best man at my friend's wedding that night, or I guess the next night, whatever, who cares. But Amy Milton filled in for me, alongside Kenny Kynes, and our special guest, Carmen Lagala. Carmen's a really funny comedian. She was in town because she is the traveling feature that opens up for Hari Kondabolu. And a lot of people messaged us and were like, are you doing a show that weekend? She'd be great. So we did a show that weekend. And it was a really good one. Telling stories, we had Meredith Hopping. We had Alan P. Williams. We had Steve Poggi and Rock Patel. And these are all really great. This is a really fun episode of the podcast. Right now as I'm recording this, we just finished the Flyover Comedy Festival, which a co-founder of the show, Chris Ranowski, was one of the main runners of that, and that was super successful. And so the next episode of this is going to be from that, and that was a really good one. But coming up next, if you want to come see the show live, sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. You want to come see the show live? The next show is on December 6th at the Heavy Anchor in St. Louis, and I'm not quite sure what the theme is going to be. I think I might do an online poll to figure it out, or Kenny might have an idea. I don't know, I should talk to him. But yeah, that's going to be a good one. I think we might start having more Cleveland or Columbus episodes now that Chris is not spending every waking moment planning a comedy festival. We'll see about that. But yeah, thanks for listening. If you like the show, go rate it on whatever app you use to listen to it. Tell your friends. Subscribe. I'm out of things to say. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and have a good night, or day, or whatever time it is. Sorry, please continue.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How is everybody doing tonight? Oh, my God, all you fucking pretty faces. Thank you for coming out. This is Sorry, Please Continue. Are you all familiar with this show? You're not familiar with the show? All right, well, we're going to stop for about 30 minutes and explain the show to that guy. So I don't know if you have something to do. No, this is a storytelling show where we have people come up and tell stories about a theme. And we have 3 comedians sit here in these lovely chairs, and we make them regret every decision they've ever made their entire life. So, if you've ever wanted to feel better about yourself, right. All right, well, let's get going. Let's introduce our 2 comedians. Actually, one is a co-creator of the show, Amy Milton. Give it up for her. And our special guest, Carmen Lagala. Very funny comedians in town telling jokes. All right, well, without further delay, do any of you have revenge stories? I have none. I grew up as a Catholic, so,
good.
You know.
All of mine are either pathetic or just make me look bad, so.
That's the best revenge, right? Huh?
Looking
I'll show
bad
you by
is
doing
the best revenge.
I'll show you. I won't do anything.
Yeah.
You got anything, Carmen? Huh?
Yeah, we just met like 10 minutes ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've done some stuff.
And she's already had revenge on me. You see?
Yeah.
You see how it works?
I don't want you guys to hate me right out of the gate. I had a roommate that I hated that was really, really mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my friend jerk off and then put it around one of his drinking cups.
Wait, whoa.
So nice to meet you guys, by the way. Thank you for having me.
What, he put it around, was it like a rubber band, like one big long rope? Because that's impressive.
I think he just.
Also,
you know,
he should probably drink a lot more water. I just want to say
smeared
that.
it. Yeah, I think it was just, whatever lotion consistency he had,
Okay.
it sort of cleared it around the outside of the glass.
Okay.
And weaved some pubic hair into his toothbrushes. He was a very bad roommate. I know I didn't set that up, but picture your worst roommate. And
Did he do those things to you first?
That's a good point.
What
really good
warrants this?
Oh, that's a good question.
So wait, did you?
Like right now, I'm just like, he stole my yogurt out of the fridge. Like I can only think of.
That's no reason to drink semen.
Yeah. I kind of don't believe that was yogurt. Really. Anyway.
Wait, did you put the pubic hair in his toothbrush after he put the cum on the cup?
It was all sort of all-in-one together motion.
Oh, because the cum is really the exclamation point in that scenario.
Yeah, that one's rough. And we never told him or anything, so it's just sort of like knowing in our minds that we did something, but him
Did
not
you see
knowing.
him drink it? Did you see him?
No.
And then like
But
porno music started playing in
in
the
your
background?
heart. It's really, sometimes revenge is just like in here. You're like, that was for me.
Yeah, just like that's what Jesus said the same thing, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, now that we got that disgusting story off the fucking ground, let's introduce our first storyteller. I had to drag this title out of him, and it's still not that good. I couldn't think of a clever title for this revenge story. Please give it up for Alan P. Williams, ladies and gentlemen. What's
Hi.
up, Alan? How's it going, man?
It's going good. Can I just plug something real quick?
Why, it better be those board shorts. and where you got them in 2017.
I'm on Spotify.
That explains everything. Do you have like a username? I don't know how Spotify works.
I don't know about a username, but I do have diarrhea really bad right now.
You said that joke when I came in here, and it wasn't funny.
It's not
then.
a joke.
It was like
It's not a joke. I
you
have
pulled it out of
diarrhea.
your back pocket like a goddamn six-shooter. Calm down.
I have diarrhea. It's real.
Okay.
So just a real thing. So no username, just diarrhea.
All right, listen. To placate him, just go on Spotify and look up diarrhea. So he can justify those goddamn
No, I have
shorts.
diarrhea. Like that's not the
This fucking
thing on
singles.
Spotify. Like I have diarrhea. It's a real.
So what's your story, Alan?
So, this was a long time ago. This is like 2003. I was 20. So basically, it's not really as much of a revenge story as just kind of a stupid thing I did, you know?
Oh, so it has nothing to do with the the theme of the evening. That's
well,
great.
it is
We're
revenge,
also on Spotify.
But I think it was just I was the only one that noticed I was doing it.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like the person I was revenging probably never knew I was revenging them,
Okay.
you know?
Me too.
I don't. Yeah.
So what happened was, like, there was this, I was 20, and there was this, like, 15-year-old kid that I bought ecstasy from.
Wait, are you getting? Oh, wait. Are you getting revenge on a 15-year-old kid?
I don't think he knew.
Okay. Well, he didn't know he was 15, or he didn't know he was getting revenge. He did it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so you bought ecstasy from him.
Well, it was a thing where I bought ecstasy from a guy that he knew, but it was for me and my friend, and he said, "Hey, will you also buy one more for me, and I'll pay you back later?" Okay.
What Popeye cartoon was this dude from? Who does that?
The regular Popeye cartoon. He
Can
was
you
the
spot me
character
on
that
some ecstasy?
wants the
Yeah.
hamburger on Tuesday.
It's a deep cut.
So, and then I was like, yes.
Right.
And so I bought, like, it was like $30 for one ecstasy. And
Was this your first time doing ecstasy?
I think it was my second.
Because you just
And
said
last.
you
I
said
only
you
did it,
bought
like,
one
twice.
ecstasy,
Yeah, it was
which means you haven't done ecstasy before
Yeah.
ever.
well, I ended up buying 3 ecstasies.
Okay.
One for me, one for my friend, and one for the guy who said, "Will you get me one, and then I'll pay you back on Tuesday."
Wait, is anybody here into drugs? Is that the proper terminology?
Tuesday?
Yes.
So anyway, and then...
I'll have 3 ecstasies, please.
Yeah. So I say, okay, yes. And then I buy him the ecstasy for him. And then he doesn't even hang out with us.
Well, he wants to do ecstasy. He doesn't want to hang around you.
Well, we were all on ecstasy.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Yeah, I see now why you wouldn't. But,
Exactly.
But, so then, like a couple weeks go by, and I kind of like needed money for the purchase of goods and services, you know. So I voicemailed him, and I says to him,
you says to him,
I
buddy, where's my money for the ecstasy?
Yeah, but I was like, hey, just wondering if I could get that $30, you know, hey, sometime soon would be cool. And then,
did you mumble that in the voicemail?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound...
And then I think it was like maybe like a week later, I had suddenly, I think maybe I woke up and I had like 6 unheard messages on my phone. And I listened to them, and they were all this guy, and he was getting angrier and angrier on all of them about me bothering him about the $30.
What?
You know, like he was really mad that I would even ask for the money that he said he'd pay me back.
Well, he should have been. If you have money to buy drugs, you should have money to pay me back the money you owe me. Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong about that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
6 voicemails is a...
Well, it started out him going, "Hey, dude, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get that $30 this week." All right, whatever. And then he hung up. So it was like short, no big deal. And then the next one was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, why are you asking me? And then it just kept like by the last one he was screaming at me about asking for his money
7 years ago. Wait a minute.
So what I did, okay, and also a little about this guy. This was 2003.
You said that. None of us are on
drugs.
drugs.
This is part of what I'm saying now, though, too.
Okay.
I said it earlier, but I'm also saying it now. I might say it again later. But
it's a coda.
Yeah. It's 2003. Eminem was at the height of his popularity. A lot of people looked like him at the time. And this guy was no exception. He had on like the plain white T-shirt and short blonde hair look.
His name was Marshall Mathers.
And all he listened to was Eminem, and all he quoted was Eminem stuff. And
was he Eminem?
He was not Eminem. He was 15, and he worked at McDonald's. And
this guy is.
It was at McDonald's that I had previously worked with him at, like the year before, and he still worked there, so I knew where he worked. And what I did was I took all the voicemails and added laugh tracks to them. And again, this was 2003, and this was before the internet.
It's not before the internet. I don't know.
And so
what part of 2003
the only way
I
could share these with people was to burn them on CDRs and hand them out. And I thought so I named it. Well, his name was Matt. That's all.
Matt from 2003.
Matt from 2003.
That's the most 2003 name I've ever heard.
And if you remember, Eminem's album titles would be like the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP. So I named it the Gee, I Wish I Was Eminem LP. And I burned 100 copies of it and then just gave them to everyone he knew. And also had other people that I knew that worked at McDonald's just hand them out to customers. I think they did. I don't know if they ended up following
You want fries with that? I want hot fries with that. They put that mixity in there.
So he got really mad. He got really mad about that.
Why?
I think because it made him look really stupid.
Wait, you said he didn't know he was being revenged.
Well, I don't... Okay.
Sure
well, no.
that
There's
he knew
more.
that
There's
that
more.
was why?
There's more to the story.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This story does not hold
Then
up on the
he
question.
sent me another voicemail where he
Wait,
was
they had
like,
voicemails in 2003? I don't remember that.
That was before we stopped using voicemails.
That and the internet.
And so he sent me this voicemail, and he was like threatening to kill me if I didn't stop handing out the CDs. So at the time, I was doing this like music project thing called Flophouse, and so I took the audio and put a bunch of fun music behind it and burned a lot of CDs, and then gave those to the same people and more people. But after that, I never heard from him again, so I don't know if he caught the last wave of it. But
Now, wait.
But if it would have been like, instead of 2003, like 2013, I could have just like posted them online and been done.
This would have been a lot shorter. But my question is,
do you have it? Can we listen to it?
You know what? I knew you'd
Is
ask.
it on Spotify?
I knew you'd ask if I brought those CDs in.
Did you for real?
No.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
So
Was that for the shorts? Was that the revenge on me?
yeah.
Wait, I got a question though. This was $2,003, and you're buying all these CDs, which cost several $100s back then.
No.
Where'd you get this money
It
from?
was $10.
Not working at McDonald's.
I believe it was 10 for a spool of 100.
What?
Okay. So you did
That's
this
like
twice.
$4,000 now.
She knows.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh,
It
okay.
checks out. Yeah.
It checks out.
But if you did that twice and you never got your $30 back,
I
you
never
just
got
spent $50 getting robbed by and then trying to irritate a 15-year-old Eminem doppelganger.
Yeah.
Okay.
I realize in hindsight that I might not, I'm worse.
That's a long way to go to revenge somebody, though, man.
Yeah. Can I do a real short one about how I got revenged?
Yes.
Why not?
It's from like the same time period, which again,
2017.
2003.
Is that what we were talking about? I forgot.
Well, I worked at this place and I wasn't the best guy, and I would like drink people's sodas that they had.
Was it McDonald's?
No, this is later, like the next year. And they would have sodas in the fridge in the break room, and I would just take them and drink all of them. And I'm not proud of who
Are you
I
a
am.
sociopath?
A little.
Like a for real?
Well,
Like
one
a for
time,
real sociopath.
one time, like, I think someone kind of like warned, like put a sign up like "Stop drinking our sodas."
Could you imagine being 45 years old and
Yeah.
having to write that sign?
Yeah. So I
This
what
is
I did.
it. This is where I'm going to retire from. I want to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that guy. And what I did was ignore the sign, and it kept drinking people's sodas. So someone like had a Coke, and they played joke, and they pee-peed in it. And
Are you having a stroke? What did you say? Someone had Coke.
Well,
made
it's an
joke,
old
pee-pee in it.
it's an old poem.
That's not an old poem. It's an old poem from 2004.
Yeah. And so someone peed in the Coke, and then I like started to drink it, and then I didn't know what was happening to me
Quitter.
because I didn't realize someone peed in it. But then they didn't know it was me that drank it, but then they were like happy that someone drank it.
That's how I felt. Yeah. That's like what I imagined. This feels so good for me to hear.
Right.
Did you finish the Coke?
I probably did, yeah.
So I don't understand how a group of adults they have somebody in their office that drank urine, and he's walking around their office. They don't know that he drank urine. Because if somebody drank urine in my office, I would be like, that guy just drank urine.
They may have known I had just drank urine. Yes.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
let's ask him. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's also not here.
That never works.
I
Is he
did-
dead?
What?
Is he dead? Is he still alive? That was way back in 2004, you know.
Yeah.
The cholera outbreak of 2010. Who survived? Nobody, right?
Yeah.
What does pee taste like?
It's gross.
Good answer. Good answer.
How did you not know that the Coke was open, or were you drinking people's
No, I knew it
already
was.
open
I was
Cokes?
drinking people's open drinks.
So you were just a fucking madman. You were a monster. They couldn't stop you, right?
Yeah.
It's like somebody's drinking our soda. He's on a rampage,
Yeah.
and we don't know where he is.
Yes.
They're
But
doing-
also, who keeps their open sodas in the company fridge? That's also weird.
everybody in a company. Have y'all not had
What?
jobs? Soda's a very... Try drinking a fucking 24-ounce bottle of soda all at once.
Oh,
You can if you're a daredevil.
He said cans.
Oh.
Did you say cans?
No.
Oh. I hallucinated cans.
It was a resealable bottle.
Oh,
of Coke.
okay.
It was a resealable bottle.
That
Man,
makes
the
far more
wonders of
sense.
technology, the internet, voicemail, resealable bottles.
2003.
Where are you from? The world of tomorrow, 2004?
Today.
Okay, well, is that it?
That's it.
Hey, Alan Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Look for him on Spotify. I'll do an active drinkerville. Never mind. All right, our next. I was waiting for Jeremy to say the next person. He's not here.
No.
He's at a fucking wedding. Who does that still? It's 2017. Fuck everybody, right? Our next storyteller is Rock Patel, telling the story Revenge of the Studio Thug. How's it going, Rock? Give it up for him. That's fine, man.
Proof that I drunk.
Hey, listen, it's 2017. We teleport dishes now.
How you guys doing?
Right, Alan? Right. What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
I don't know any of you. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
How did you get revenge on someone?
All right,
Rock?
so this was 7 years after 2003. It was 2010.
Oh, enough with the fucking math.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So it was actually 2010 into 2011. I was
That's
more
still 2010.
into, the local hip-hop music scene or just music scene in general.
You know you don't have to move your hands like this when you say hip-hop. It's not.
It's, okay, so that's going to happen often.
It's
You're
not,
lucky
it's
there's
not
a
RZA.
mic in one hand.
It's a bit of a misnomer. You know what I mean?
Both hands would be moving if this mic wasn't in one hand. But anyway, so 2010, 2011, I was, this is in my way.
Can you see him now?
Yeah. Can you guys see
I
me?
don't know if you all thought a ghost was.
You hear me?
Or maybe just
Y'all
a
see
stool
me?
was talking
All
by
right.
itself.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's like you see shoes and you see a brown guy in shoes. That's the difference. You thought it was just a skinny black guy.
You thought it was RZA.
All right.
With the microphone stand, it wasn't.
So I was trying to take local hip-hop things to a bigger level, and I put some money together and bought a national act, and I'm still rocking my fucking hand. And
you bought a national act? You can do that?
As right, when you are
Wasn't that what the Civil War was about? I'm pretty sure.
That's how that's how concerts
like the
move.
whole war.
That's how concerts move. You buy the artist. That's how concerts move. So I bought an artist and part of his tour date and played him at the pageant. It was Big Crit and it was
for
really
real?
big.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me. This
Okay.
was 2010,
No,
2011.
I
not recently.
remember it wasn't that far
Yeah.
away.
Well, I mean, he's been here a few times after
Yeah,
what I meant, and that was not me. But anyway, so I was really excited. It's Big Crit. I'm a big fucking fan of his, and I was like, oh shit, this is my step. I'm gonna make some bank. I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna get these local cats on a different level. I'm trying to do this.
Okay.
Well, my business partner at the time was maybe 7 years younger than me, and he had all of Daddy's money, which means he never had a job, never had any bill to his name, but he had a lot of Daddy's money, and so he wanted
Wait a minute.
to
This was
live-
his actual father. This is just a dude he called Daddy, was it? Because
This was his father.
this is a
was
weird
his
fucking
father.
story all of a sudden.
Yeah, his father is a surgeon of sorts. He's a
He just does whatever.
he's a
That's
surgeon.
ominous.
Yeah.
Has he ever been called the butcher of anything?
Yeah, he might have been. Yeah, he might have
Does he
been.
walk around with like a top hat and a monocle? They call me a surgeon of sorts.
He does have a mustache. I'm just saying. He has a mustache. So he played with Daddy's money, and he was one of those guys. But with Daddy's money and his love for hip-hop culture, he somehow got in touch with a lot of famous people. And I'm talking like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne. Like
You all
Nipsey
know those
Hussle.
people, right? Are you
These
familiar
are
with
all rappers.
50 Cent?
50 Cent was
50
hot.
50 Cent
back-
piece?
Yeah. Well, things like that. So I was like, oh shit, homie's connected. I need to provide my services to a guy who has money and connections like that.
Okay.
Let me try to come up.
All right.
So we did DMX together. We did, I think, a part of Yellow Wolf together.
Listen, there's a lot of context that's needed for this story.
So, right.
I don't... Because this just sounds like you're having a bunch of threesomes with famous hip-hop stars.
But how does that sound like threesomes?
It just does.
Do you want to have a threesome with rappers?
No.
Hey, if you wanted to, okay, who would be the 2 other rappers you'd have a threesome with?
I would only have threesomes with EDM stars. That's how I roll. All right? Let the bass drop. That's a thing you all do. So go ahead. You've been you're doing this thing with the rappers.
Yeah. So homie just wasn't like organized with operations of a concert, stage management, money things, and so he was reckless with that stuff. I had invested money into it, so I want my fucking money back and some because I'm investing something into something. And I put in a lot of work, right? I was proud of myself. I put in a lot of work. I bought like 600, 700 people out that night, so I really wanted to get paid, right? And what he didn't tell me was he booked other artists in front. I had Chance the Rapper, which was I'm proud of. First guy to bring Chance the Rapper to St. Louis for $500.
Right on.
And in a fucking van, and then he
now you can get him for $1,000.
And he brought Slim Thug, my business partner. I paid $500 for Chance. He paid $1,000 for Slim. The money's adding up, is my point, right? Mm-hmm. And so when money adds up into those types of thousands, homie gets concerned, right? And so
you're homie, right?
I'm homie, and so. Concerts breaking off, homies, other like dudes that are invested into my business partner that I didn't know of, showing up at the concert, asking this dude where's their cut.
Before the concert is over?
Before the concert even fucking started.
Okay, well,
so
just get that car started and then
like,
there you go.
So there was 2 people after this motherfucker for some money, and I'm like, dude, I need to put a concert on. You know what I mean? He starts crying. Like a little bitch. Like, dog, like, you can't cry outside. Oh, it was the Rock House. I'm sorry, not the pageant. It was the old Rock House. I apologize.
Honestly, if a bunch of people are coming after you, threatening your life for money that you owe them, that's the perfect time to cry.
Nah, man.
Not if you're very rich, right?
Yeah, I mean,
not only that. Well, if I made a mistake, okay. So personally speaking, I'm a stand on mine.
Is Colonel Sanders in this story too?
If I fucked up, if I did people wrong like that, or I owed people money, motherfucker, I'm standing up for it. I'm not gonna cry. I expect this shit. You know what I mean? If I was
I know.
like that,
I just do a Matlock impression, and then when they're laughing, I take off.
No, that wasn't Matlock. What was Matlock? Anyways, I like theme songs. So anyways. He starts crying like a little bitch, and I had to pay for all these motherfuckers, like hotels, because he didn't tell me this shit. So I'm now more in my money than I expected to be. He was still crying at the end of the concert. I collected the concert, when everybody pays money when you get to the concert. So I collected the check at the end. I didn't allow him to.
You worked the door at the concert?
No. When you're in charge of that shit, you go downstairs and settle it up with the management and take all the door money, right? Mm-hmm, you break off the DJ, you break your people off, and that's your cut.
I'm sorry, I'm only familiar with the world of stand-up comedy. I'm not familiar with any of that.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with the stand-up comedy game at all.
Okay.
Question, did you record him crying and make CDs of it?
No, I didn't. You know, I wish I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
Maybe he was just moved by Big Crit. Maybe that's why he was crying.
He didn't even
couldn't collect himself.
He was still chiefing up in his tour bus. He wasn't even outside yet.
Okay, well
he was just a little
my
bitch.
theory goes unproven.
He was just a little bitch.
All right, so now
then I took Chance to Chase, paid for the hotels. I took everybody out, right? I took everybody out where they needed to be. I came back. He was still at the venue. I collected my fucking check. And I asked him, what the fuck, right? Because I just spent $2,000 in expenses that I didn't expend. Or what am I trying to say? Expect.
Yeah.
I drank all that whiskey, and now I'm cotton mouth.
It's
whiskey
just one
made
whiskey.
me cotton mouth. So then I saw him 2, 3 o'clock in the morning there, and I was really upset because I'm wired, I'm tired. And so I punched him, and I'm not proud of that.
What did you do?
Wait a minute, did you knock him out?
Yes.
Then you should be proud of that.
And look, dude, I'm not a big dude, right? I'm not a big dude.
Well, it's not about size. It's about
but this dude's
how
like
much
this.
money somebody owes you.
Yeah, that's what I was punching, right?
Okay.
Like, what the fuck? You don't step to somebody like that.
You were punching future earnings.
No, man, when you you don't disrespect somebody like that, and especially not me, and you're gonna hear about it right away. And
Wait, was it the crying that disrespected you, or the
No, man, he stuck me for all that cash and responsibilities, right?
Yeah, that's
so I was upset about that naturally.
Yeah. Amy, you better pay me after the show.
Yeah, but I stuck him.
I'm kidding.
He fell, and then I felt bad because I don't like fighting.
It wasn't really a fight. You just knocked him out.
Right. You're right. And I felt so bad that I waited until he came to consciousness. Is that the word? Can somebody help me?
And he just said, "That'll do, pig. That'll do."
Nah. And I took him home to his dad's house, the surgeon of sorts.
Did he open the door in like a smock with blood all over it? I told you not to bother me after the 10 o'clock hour.
Oh, no. I took his shirt off and wrapped his face. He was all right. And,
I don't know. I don't.
Did you then dump him into a river?
No, I waited until he got up because I felt bad. Like, I don't. Like, you can't just.
I just want you to know that this show is often used in court. So
that's fine. That's all right. He out of here. But like, I just felt like I would enjoy a fight if he was ready to fight back. At this point, I would have. I was about that at that time of the night, right?
This is the basis of all of U.S.'s, the United States dealings with the Middle East.
You're right, exactly.
We just say something. Just say something.
That was really what it was about. He didn't say anything, so yeah. And so then I felt bad because he was on the verge. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting, and I felt even more bad.
Whoa.
What I didn't know was he was on the verge of, like, depression. He was addicted to drugs, like, for real. Like, he was fucked up. And he went through rehab right after that. Mm-hmm. Withdrew, like he was not in a good place, like
rehab like a bitch, right? Am I right?
Yeah, but he handled drugs like a bitch.
I'm like, if this is the setup for your revenge, you're not making yourself sound good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a fucking star. Watch.
He was in his lowest moment.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna explain how much of a dope motherfucker I am. Right. So he was just gnarly. He was coked out. He was doing all the pills that L.A. kids do. And you know them L.A. kids out there doing pills. One clapped. Anybody?
She doesn't know.
Okay, I thought this was a drug-friendly crowd.
That is a red fucking flag. That there is no red flag.
Someone clapped.
Drugs are good, right? Huh? Y'all gotta have a good time. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Kids won't stop crying.
I'm trying to speed it up. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
All right. Where was I at then?
The guy was in bad shape.
Okay,
he did all the pills in L.A.
Yeah. So, right. Pilled out, coked out, fucked up because his daddy gives him all the prescriptions, right? So
that's not good at all.
Pills everywhere. And, I seen him like this. I should have known better myself. I seen the signs. But I was about that paper at that time. You feel me?
Who ain't about that paper, son? Who ain't about that paper? You know what I'm saying? Scared money don't make money.
Good guy I used to be. I used to be a great guy. And then, so then I felt bad. I laid off. At this point, he still owed me $9,000. All right. All right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he still owed me $9,000 from other things. Like, I'm trying to keep it short, right? There was other business involved, right? With like Chief Keef. Remember Chief Keef? Anybody a Chief Keef
From the story
fan?
or the actual rapper?
The rapper.
Okay, yeah, I remember Chief Keef.
Yeah, so I lost $5,000 to Chief Keef at that time where he killed somebody and then got into that mess. If
Maybe you should pick a
Chief
different
Keef
genre
for real, right?
concert shows.
And now I do improv comedy.
You know what I'm saying?
And so I did get out the game, homie. I did, because it got tiresome.
I'm sure it did.
Anyways, so I had shit invested with this guy. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like,
okay.
And I felt for him. I tried to help him because I knew he wasn't, he didn't know how to think right. You know
at least keep him alive long enough to get you $9,000 back, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I was like, go to rehab, homie. Feel better so I can come after you later. And I'm dead ass serious.
Dead ass serious.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this show is sponsored by Timberland, by the way. If you all in New York undercover.
Healthy.
If you need to buy a puffy coat.
Hey, I just bought a puffy coat.
Please visit our friends at REI. Yeah. If you need a pill coat and some Timberlands.
Put in code SORRY.
If you have to solve crimes in Harlem in 1998. Yeah. I'm dead ass serious.
Do you want to banter in New York slang, son? AB.
I'm sorry. So, did you get your money back?
Sorry, I get off on tangents.
That we all do.
So, yeah, that was my revenge, right? So, this has now, all right, so from that time, it had maybe been 14 months. I'm acting like a newborn mother, like 14 months ago.
How much interest had you put on this?
I'm a product planner, so calendars are in my head, so that's why I speak in months. So 15 months, and it was eating me up inside like this motherfucker had my money, right? And he wasn't answering my calls. I couldn't track his ass down. I thought he was out of rehab at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, look, bitch, give me my fucking money, right? I came to your house. I had food with your mom and dad. I met your sister. I broke bread with you, right? Like, don't do me dirty. And I felt like the 15 months was enough time for you to realize that, right? So then I went to Festus and knocked on his mama's door.
Fucking Festus? Wait a minute.
Yeah. You know, that's like a hype, motherfucker. Like I had to pack a bag.
Whoa, that's the Mountain Doom of this story?
Yeah.
Festus?
Festus.
Okay, so you went down to Festus.
I'll give you the whole profile, right? So he was this big. He was a Pakistani kid, and he was all about that culture, but he had no experience with that culture. He was the kind of kid. He was the kind, and I don't either. No one really does, right? He was the type of kid. His Instagram page is him throwing up gang signs, legit blood gang signs with guns that he's never ever been able to shoot. With real dudes, like Chief Keefs and his characters and sorts. All right? The Chief Keefs of sorts, right? All them coke boys that rap.
Oh my God, this is the best story that's ever been told.
What a time to be alive, all right?
And
you lucky I didn't do that many drugs, okay?
I am including the Bible.
Seriously. You know how many drugs was around? All kinds of numbers of ecstasy.
In Festus.
Like,
wait.
There was...
Wait a minute, wait. Where are we at right now?
Hundreds of thousands of ecstasies. Yeah. Man, I'm just saying, I didn't partake, girl. No, that was my girls in the house.
So, like, wait. All right, now we're in Festus.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
and the kid...
In this big fucking mansion, dog.
Right.
Home Alone's house.
Who?
You know, Home Alone's house. Macaulay Culkin's house. Y'all remember Macaulay Culkin?
I thought you said Home Alone house. It's like,
1996.
I'm not that into finance.
So Home Alone's house. It was a house like that.
Okay.
Was it a 4-bedroom?
Yeah, that house wasn't that big in the scheme of things.
Okay.
It was big because we were so small. That was just a regular house.
I was an adult at this time.
No, I'm talking about the movie Home Alone. That house wasn't that big.
You're right.
It was just a 4-bedroom house.
You're right. All I saw was the foyer.
Yeah, it was like, and it had a foyer.
Bed,
That's what
with
fucked
a bunch
us
of
up.
coke on it.
That's what made the house look so big. It had a foyer. It was like, every house has a foyer, basically. It's a porch.
I don't have a foyer.
Inside. All right, so you went down to Festus. You went to his house.
I knocked on his door.
So
again, let me bring some little culture into it. He's an Indian dude. I'm an Indian. I'm not Pakistani. He's a Pakistani dude. But we're still brown, right? We get that shit.
Yeah.
I figured that I ate with his parents,
yeah,
which is legit in our culture.
Okay.
It's like a sign of respect type
That's
of
pretty
shit.
much every culture if you eat.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I don't want to just narrow that down to one
hemisphere.
I mean, it's like basically it's every family.
I've never been white guy.
Okay.
I know.
So you ate with his family?
But I knocked on his door, and I said, "Hey, where's Bilal?" And he's like, "No Bilal." And I like, "All right, man. Look, I try to be a nice guy, is what I'm saying. I was like, hey, look, your son owes me money. You remember me. All I'm trying to do is make sure I get my bread back. I'm not trying to do any harm. You understand, right?" And he's like, Who the fuck are you? I don't know you.
Whoa.
Yeah. That
What?
motherfucker knows me.
Was his son dead?
I helped his parents get a granite countertop. Like
Man, that's
you know
basically
me.
like having sex.
Anyways, so I felt immediately disrespected because I'm sort of hot-headed when it comes to real shit, right?
You should. I didn't know a granite countertop was involved
Yeah, it's in the game.
in this betrayal.
Yeah. And so I felt really fucking upset and like fucking raged, right? Because all those 15 months I was like, this dude got me, right? And I was kind of broke at the time. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, give me my fucking money.
You could use $9,000.
I can use 9 stacks, right? So stacks is 1,000.
I encourage everybody to
One
go on
stack
Urban.
is-
Please go on Urban Dictionary after the show if you're lost
So
at any point.
I am Urban Dictionary for my white and brown friends. I am bridging that gap. My favorite rapper is Nas.
I'm learning a lot.
Okay, so
Then
Papa's disrespected
I'm
you.
fucking outraged, right?
Right.
Homie got so much disrespect. I leave. But before I leave, I look up. All right, so here's the front door. All right, it's a big-ass
Behind that
fucking
is the
house.
foyer.
Up here, you can see what are those windows that protrude out of the house?
Yeah.
Bay window.
Bay
Thank
window.
you.
You all know fucking bay window, but not the other fucking slang he said. Fuck each and every one of you.
So they were so rich they had a bay window on the second floor, right? You usually see bay windows down here, right? And I'm like outraged. I'm outraged. And I look up because that's his room. And I see his punk ass swivel out of his bitch ass stare and get out of the way. And I was like, this motherfucking snake, this rat, this dude saw me banging on your door. Little bitch is in his bedroom. Like, come the fuck down here. Like, what the fuck?
Please tell me you were saying this out loud. 'Cause
Yes, I
that'd be
was.
fucking-
I was.
That would be
And,
fucking dope.
I did. I was. And then I threw a rock at the bay window. I didn't break it. It was pretty good. It was a pretty nice bay window. I'm just,
That's a good bay window.
motherfucker. So I left, and that few days later,
Okay.
I found out where his dad was a doctor at, or a surgeon of sorts. And I went to the hospital, and I waited for that motherfucker. And because I know what kind of car he drives. Look, man, don't fuck with my money, all right? So, or me, or my people. Like, I had artists opening and got, like, anyway. Like, I'm down for my peoples. Don't fuck with my
Excuse me,
peoples.
sir. I'm in the middle of heart surgery right now.
Yeah. No, I didn't do that. I was in the parking lot, lurking. I was
Excuse me,
lurking.
sir. I'm in the middle of heart surgery in the middle of this parking lot right now.
I was straight lurking in the parking lot.
This
And
is
so
before
he comes
Obamacare.
outside. He comes outside. I'm like, look, I'm gonna try to be a nice guy, though this looks dangerous, right? Like, who comes up to you in the parking lot? Who just confronted you at your home about money? And I looked crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I looked the part of I'm gonna fuck you up. But again, it was an Indian dude, an older Indian guy, and I was just thinking of my
So
people.
it could have been anybody just talking loud. That would have been looked crazy.
And I was just like, man, I can't just yell at this older gentleman. Like, that's disrespectful.
It is
Respect your elders.
You're fighting disrespect.
I'm
with
finding
disrespect.
respect and I like just whatever honor, I guess. And I'm just like really upset. I still told his ass to come back with a fucking money order tomorrow.
A money order.
Yeah.
You mean he's got to go all the way over on Goodfellow and Kings Highway?
No.
Wait, those
This is
streets though.
Festus.
I'm sorry, Goodfellow and Delmar to get a money order. I
Festus
need a
has-
money order for $9,000.
Yeah.
What? I would pay money to see
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. It's not
$9,000.
It's not a part of the
You
deal.
get your
Anyway.
ass out my face.
Yeah, anyway, so because I showed him emails with information on it, right? So I was like, look, I'm going to my lawyers tomorrow morning with this type of information. So do what you want to do, but I'm trying to be respectful. I'm not trying to hurt your son, though he can be hurt. Like that came off stupid. Not by me. Not by me. I'm sorry, guys. I really wouldn't do that. I would have
Wasn't that
just
the name of
took
a
legal
Steven Seagal
action, to
film?
be honest with you. But he was mixed up with some bad motherfuckers, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so people were looking for him anyway. But he came back with a money order the next day, and I got my money back. So it was a happy ending. I equivalent revenge with payback, and I didn't have to hurt nobody.
Well, hey, that's fantastic. Nobody got killed, you see?
Nobody got...
You can solve all your problems.
Do I sit?
By just yelling at people at their house. No, that's all. Rock Patel, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know how microphones work.
All right, listen. We're going to be a little democratic here. Would you all like to take a 10-minute break to get something to drink and use the bathroom, or would you like to keep going? Take a break? All right, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Please go visit Josh and Jody and get all the drinks you can. And we'll be back with 2 more storytellers. Thank you very much. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You ready for some more storytelling? I hope you did your research for this next portion of the show. It gets very, very slangy. So it's funnier when I was rolling up my sleeves. All right. Let's get our next storyteller up here. Give it up for Meredith Hopping, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck raising the stakes from $30 to $9,000, and now.
Yeah, you can't come over here drinking Stag. We got a $9,000 story up here.
But it came with a whiskey shot.
Oh, man.
I'm frugal. I'm a mother of 3. I have to be frugal.
I don't know. Every time I see somebody drinking Stag, it's like Alan's story about drinking urine isn't so bad now. You know?
Thanks to Rock, I moved the mic, so.
Can you see her now?
We're good to go now.
Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't say the name of your story.
Please be revenge on my 3 kids. Be great.
Someone stole my child.
Do you want to use that? I mean, that's a little bit more interesting. Sounds like a kid might get harmed. That's always funny, right? Home Alone 8. All right, listen. Wait, what was the name of the story? What did we come to? Oh, the name of this story is The Not So Obvious Choice.
Oh. Yeah. All right.
Fuck y'all then.
Clap.
I tried my best, you know? I'm
deep.
sorry.
I mean, do people always sit?
You can do whatever you like.
Okay. Good.
I don't know why I ended up on an up note there, but go ahead. Still.
So, Alan, where's Alan?
Alan.
Alan, I see
he's in the
your
back.
Alan went to go be ironic in another state, so I don't know what.
I see your 2003, and I match it, and I'm going to take you all back to 1997.
What? Oh, my God.
That's not even a real year.
Yeah.
That's before the Jews made a covenant with God. Just hooded dicks walking around everywhere. Remember that? 1997.
So, yes, 20 years ago.
Every dick looked like Batman.
All the dicks. All the Batman dicks.
Can I have that? Can I use that on my next album?
Batman dicks?
This album is free. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you may be able to tell this by looking at me, but I was indeed on the junior high basketball team. Yes. Woo. I was.
And if you did think that, you're slightly racist. So.
Racist?
Why not?
I think it would be heightist.
That's not a thing.
But I was 6 feet tall already when I was 13, and they thought that something magical might happen if they kept giving me the opportunity. But what you can't tell by looking at me is that I was born without a soft palate.
Oh, wow, you overcame.
Does everyone know what a soft palate is? No?
It's a bitch-ass palate.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to take their fingers and stick them in their mouths.
Please do not do that. I do not want Jody and Josh to clean up vomit for the rest of the evening.
Or just use your tongue, and where the roof of your mouth gets soft, like when it stops being hard and gets soft, I just had a hole.
Oh.
And so I would puke through my nose.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of dudes would pay a lot of money to see you do that.
But in 3rd grade, I had reconstructive surgery where they grafted skin from the back of my throat.
They made your palate bigger, stronger, faster.
Yes. They gave me a
Your palate is now Lee Majors.
a faux palate.
Only the people over 52 who listen to this podcast know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Was that considered an unfair advantage in basketball?
Well,
Oh.
the most time I spent on the court was when I was singing the national anthem.
Okay.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I know. No, it wasn't that controversial.
Sing it right now.
Yeah.
Sing the
Because
anthem.
I did voice lessons as therapy for my faux soft palate. So I didn't really get to play a lot, but I got to sing the banner. A lot.
That sounds weird.
Yeah.
It was.
I've never heard it referred to as singing the banner. Singing the banner.
Singing the banner.
That sounds like something that white nationalists do in prison. You know what I mean? Yeah, I went there. What you gonna do? Huh? Boycott us?
And
We don't make any money anyway. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
13-year-old lanky, prepubescent girls as well, along with the white nationalists.
Was there a height requirement for singing the anthem?
No.
Okay.
They just felt bad for me that
Oh,
I
okay.
never got to play. So they're like, let's just have her sing the national anthem, and she'll feel like she's contributed to the team.
So wait, you were on the basketball team, and before the games, you had to sing the national anthem every game?
Yeah. Well, home games.
Okay.
Not away games.
What did they sing at the
They
away
had
games?
another sad
Another sad.
fourth string.
Sad tall
Yeah,
girl.
tall girl. Yeah.
They would sing the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah.
This
Exactly.
is Wildwood. Shut up.
I can also make a really good motorcycle sound ever since I got my faux soft palate.
Right.
But what I need is for the 3 people that have microphones up here besides me, I have an intro that I have to have where you all sing Leader of the Pack.
Sing what?
Leader of the pack.
I don't know what that is.
Just sing what I said.
Oh, leader of the... Okay, go ahead.
Leader
I'm sorry.
Leader of the pack, I think.
Leader of
All
the
right.
pack?
All right. 1, 2, 3. Leader of the pack. She's gone.
Holy, that was like that eclipse. I was like, this is going to be shit. Whoa! The sun is gone. That was amazing.
You would think I would make some stacks with that, right? Some
No,
stacks.
no.
Where's Rob?
Please, please
no stacks.
pretend you didn't hear any of that.
Some
And continue.
stacks. No. But so even though I never really got to play unless we were winning by a lot or losing by a lot, I still had a lot of heart and was very invested in every game. And so one away game, I grew up in Normal, Illinois, by the way.
There's no reason to catcall Normal, Illinois. You misogynist. What?
Illinois. Anyone?
Hey, listen, this show is also brought to you by Shell Oil of Normal, Illinois, for all your low-cost gas needs.
But we had an away game in East Peoria.
Oh, I've been there before.
Illinois.
It's shit. They have a great comedy club, though.
Their gas prices are very high.
We spit on East Peoria and their high gas prices.
But that was where our coach had come from the previous year. And normally he would get really angry if we were losing and if we lost a game. And this game we lost by just a little bit, so I never got to play. But I was noticing that he was not angry. And he was not getting upset that we lost the game. And I started to begin to seethe inside. And I didn't think that this was right.
All right, this actually means you're blossoming as a woman. I don't know if you know that.
No,
You might want to come up
no.
with another hand signal.
See, I think
Maybe
that's
talk
what
to
they
Rock
thought.
after the show.
Yeah.
I think they thought that once I got my period, I'd be able to play basketball. But,
Science!
yeah, but I was a late bloomer, and so they got bored. But so I decided that this wasn't right, what was happening. He should be mad if we lost a game, right? He should be just as upset no matter who we were playing, but it was because we were playing his old school. That he
Make
wasn't
us
angry.
run laps.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Where was the justice in all of it? So on the bus on the way to Wendy's, right? So we could eat before we drove home to Normal, Illinois. I started
This story
to
just
think,
makes me want to cry whenever you mention every one of those cities. Then we stopped in good old Champaign. Oh.
Champaign,
Urbana.
Urbana. Yeah.
You from Urbana? Oh, man. Do you know the Tuttle brothers? Oh, never mind. Okay, go ahead.
But I started formulating a plan because he needed to know what he had done.
I'm going to assassinate the president.
And
That'll
so,
get him mad.
Cut the bus brakes. Did you do that?
Well, almost. Almost. You see, I was not only awkwardly tall, about half the weight that I am now.
I was also a sociopath.
I was pretty dorky and didn't have a lot of friends, but there were a lot of popular girls that were on the basketball team. And, like, dorky to the point that there was a GeoCities website, right?
That's on the internet. We had that in 1997, which was before 2003. Alan Williams, you fucking asshole.
No, Alan. Fact check.
.org.
Yes. But they would call me Lurch.
Oh.
Yes. And they made a GeoCities website about me being just like Lurch. How mean is that?
And that's why they all had to die. It is very mean. It's unfair. Okay.
That site could be seen by upwards of 12 people.
But so I decided I was going to get the best player on the team.
Pregnant.
No.
To seduce the coach.
No. And the girl who was the richest.
This sounds like Clue. I don't even know if this is real.
And whenever we got to Wendy's,
Colonel
when
Mustard.
everyone got off the bus, we were going to stay on the bus.
Okay.
That'll show him.
Yeah. And then Coach sent in a girl to come get us, and I said, we'll come off the bus when he comes on and apologizes for what he's done.
Boy, you know what? This is like an episode of Family Matters that didn't make it, you know? That wasn't good enough to be on TGI Friday. So, all right, so now you're having I guess a bus-in? No, can somebody verify that that's a thing I didn't just make up?
Yeah.
So you're sitting on the bus like, fuck the man.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Can you just come get some Wendy's?" And you were like, "Nah." So what happened after that?
So he did come on the bus.
Okay.
And he did apologize.
How did this work?
There's nothing more terrifying than a 6-foot-tall, lanky, bobbed white girl saying...
I don't know. It was 1997, so...
He apologized, but I didn't feel it was good enough, so I still didn't eat, even though I came off the bus.
Wait, you didn't... But it was only like... Did you eat breakfast? You ate breakfast that morning, right?
Dinner. I didn't have a Frosty.
But did you eat... Wait.
I was a 13-year-old girl after a basketball game that I didn't play in, and all I wanted was a Frosty.
This is a very Western conversation that we're having right now. So you ate dinner later on that day, correct?
Huh? When I got home?
You ate dinner that day? Like when you got home, you ate dinner?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't say that.
I was that committed
It's
to the
Camp
cause.
X-Ray all of a sudden.
Have you eaten since?
I have.
Because if so, he won.
But that's not where it ends.
Oh,
so
no, okay.
in our first regional game of that year, he asked everyone to write him a letter.
Oh my God, she should never do that. Did you talk to HR?
Before the game. And so I took the opportunity to write in my letter, I'm still very disappointed by your choices during our East Peoria game. And it's always been a dream of mine to not only sing the national anthem, but also start a game.
And you weren't cool.
Let's just verify that you were not the most popular girl in high school.
I was not.
When you wrote a letter that said, I would love to sing the national anthem. and start in a basketball game I'm no good at.
And I'm disappointed with your behavior, sir.
And I haven't had Wendy's since.
Exactly.
XOXOXO.
So he got all the letters, and then what happened is the other tall girl who always did the jump start that actually could play basketball.
Wait a minute. Did you just say the tall girl that could do the jump start?
Isn't that thing?
That's why you didn't start. You didn't even know what this is called. It's like this is the basis of basketball is the shot.
No!
And you call it the jump start.
No!
Oh,
when
I heard
the
you
game
wrong.
starts, there's two people.
Oh, the jump ball.
Jump ball.
Yeah, that's why you didn't start. You should probably know the names of the things you do during the game to be successful at basketball. The bouncy thingy, you know. Oh, don't make me say it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's fine. But she was late, which meant she couldn't start, so I got to start and sing the national anthem.
I was thinking of another late. Wah, 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 wah.
So is that your revenge? You wrote an angry letter, and then circumstances unrelated happened?
And then she had a conflict on her calendar, and it was late for the game, and you got to start and do that thing at the beginning of the game you didn't know what they did or called. Burn.
And we lost, but I don't think it was my fault.
They lost, but you won inside where your heart is.
In my heart.
Meredith Hopping, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, no,
Wait. There's more. Oh. There's an addendum.
Okay. So the moral of the story is
Get good.
It was either this story or the one about my husband's grandpa castrating a guy after he raped his sister. And thus my title, The Not So Obvious Choice. Thank you, everyone.
How is that a moral? The moral is don't tell the people the castration story.
Oh, man. They had a fucking castration story. Like right there. It was right there. I want my money back.
I wrote a letter. My grandpa cut off a dick. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, man. We're going to listen. After the show, we're writing her a letter. And we're going to tell her we could have had the castration story. Also, I want to sing the national anthem at our funeral.
Meredith, I'm still upset.
It will be. It's the same letters that's in the Best Buy every week. All right. Are you ready for your final story, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? You're going to love this story, man. This is a good friend of mine. He's a very funny comedian. Please give it up for Steve Poggi, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, brother? And this story is Epic Midwest Revenge.
And Epic Midwest Revenge.
I don't know. It's going to be hard to top her moral, whatever happened, non-castration story, but what's up, Steve? How goes it?
Well, as you know for sure, and a lot of the other comics go, I'm a pretty bad drunk.
Oh, no. What are you talking about?
I sat down and totaled it up one time. Between lawyer fees, court costs, and medical bills, I've probably spent about $120,000.
Wow.
On my
now
drunken
you
mistakes.
know if you go to the courthouse or where the judge lives, you could demand your money back.
Well, that was one of those costs. As I tried that.
It's a little something called tort reform.
Didn't work out in my favor. But I've gotten drunk and woken up chained to hospital beds because I was fighting nurses. I've broken into houses not realizing it.
That was a good story.
And in 2016, I was one of the top storytellers in San Francisco. And if you had to ask me what my best story is, it's the story I'm about to tell now. And it happens to be about revenge. And I've never told it before.
You all are lucky. How about that?
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of reference, when I'm 33 now. When I was 20 years old, I became friends with the person who had become my best friend in the entire world And I thought about editing his name out, but I don't talk to him that much anymore, so...
And no one listens to this podcast, so go ahead.
Right, yeah. Just sorry, please farted. Check us out on iTunes.
Right, exactly. Or on Spotify under Diarrhea.
Spotify Diarrhea. And his name was Rami, and I met him when I was going to community college, St. Charles, SCA, in case there's any alumni here. And he was the same age as me. He was a foreign exchange student. He was actually from Egypt.
And he was going to a community college?
He was going to in St. Charles, Missouri. Very upper echelon of society in St. Charles,
That is
Missouri.
some good marketing. I will tell
We
you that
have
right
2
now.
Walmarts. I mean, what do you want me to say? And he was a devout practicing Muslim, and furthermore, like, he had a house that was all of his own because his parents lived in Saudi Arabia, and they would just travel from time to time. So we had, like, what was a frat house that we had to make presentable, like, twice a year. And so I lived there, and, like, one time, like, we brought a keg into the kitchen, and we destroyed the tile, and his parents were coming back, so we redid the floor.
I think I saw that movie.
Yeah. But we mixed the concrete in the sink, so we had, like, a separate problem after we fixed the floor. So, like, his parents got home, and we were like, we redid the kitchen. It's all brand new.
But why is there cement in my sink?
No, it was a brand new sink, top of
wow.
the line.
So
We
you
did
just kept
everything.
replacing things
We
throughout
bought
the
a new
house,
sink.
yeah.
We put the new sink in, but it didn't fit the countertops. So then we had to get new countertops. And then when the countertops were being put in, they fucked up the cabinets. So we had to put in new cabinets. It was like a shitty home makeover show with alcoholics and a guy that spoke Arabic. Like,
How
we
you
just
didn't,
put
how
it all
you didn't
together.
pitch this to fucking HGTV? I don't.
Right. But
4
at the
drunks
same
trying to get a
time,
house
his
together.
parents loved us because every time they came home, we redid a new room. It's magical now. It's all brand. Value of your house went up. And I had been friends, like, somewhat my senior year of high school into these following years with a group of friends. Like, I was, like, friends with one guy, then I got brought in, and then I met them, and that's how I kind of met him. So me and him, we didn't really have, like, best friends from childhood that were part of this group. So me and him, that's how we really became best friends, to the point where, like, I was living over there, we were hanging out, and, you know, a couple years goes by, and eventually...
You built a whole new house?
Aside from the foundation, yes. But it got to the point where, like, the couples in the group started to get bored. And so you go by proximity and familiarity. So you go to other people within the group, which isn't a problem unless you're, like, engaged and, like, money's being transferred and rings are being bought. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. There was a girl within the group who was engaged to one of our friends. Her name was Rachel, and she's a total cunt. And I'm going to say her fucking last name by the end of this.
Yeah, fuck you, Rachel.
Yeah. And she took a glamoring to Rami. And, you know, Rami, he comes from, you know, Egypt, where, you know, he doesn't have the, you know, half-naked women in the Kleenex commercial kind of a thing.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
we don't have that either.
You had previously said Saudi Arabia, then Egypt. Like,
No, that's where
is
they
it-
work, Saudi Arabia. That
Okay.
hotel with that big black circle thing.
Okay.
That one,
That's-
Big Black Circle Hotel.
Cool.
Boom. I forgot we're in Missouri.
Right.
I thought you were going to have another riff, so I paused for you.
No.
I don't. I had to drink to make myself feel
Failed
good.
me with your Goodwill shoes. So
Let's not go toe to toe, all right? I will end you.
So
Go
she
ahead.
takes an interest to Rami, and I try to tell him, like, this is a bad idea. Like, as this whole relationship's transpiring, he's telling me, like, all the dynamics and, like, what's happening. And even though, like, I'm a stupid, you know, drunk guy who's just smoking pot and hanging out, I tried to sit him down and be like, look, like, anytime you're playing pool and she slips you a credit card so you can go rent a U-Haul to move her out of her fiance's house while he's at work and doesn't know about it, that's a red flag. Right? That's, you don't pass go. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the fucking power of pussy, it got him. It fucking locked him down. It's not his fault. All of the women he's used to look like reverse Ninja Turtles. This was his one opportunity to come through.
Are you saying the women just look like turtles?
Of the Ninja Teenage variety, yes.
Well, what's a reverse Ninja?
They were trained by rats. Can I go on?
This story is now about what a reverse Ninja Turtle is.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
It's where everything but your eyes are covered. Lack imagination.
All right, so go ahead.
And he does this.
Okay.
No, she was such a bitch. Not only did she wait till he was at work and then move all of her stuff out and bail on this apartment, she took the fucking dog too. Right? Like, that's why I called her a cunt earlier. And so she goes to her new apartment, who she's already set up, this whole fucking thing. It all comes out. There's a big falling out in the group. You got to fucking choose sides. Obviously, I chose my buddy Rami's. And everything's going fine for 2-3 months. And then he comes to me in a panic one afternoon because she is pregnant. And not only would it be scary to be pregnant, you know, without a plan or finances to back you up at a young, immature age, let alone if you have overbearing parents that, you know, got a bunch of money to send you to another country to make something of yourself, and you're just like, hey, I got this blonde whore pregnant.
Well, I mean, if you send your kid to another country, you kind of expect them to get pregnant, right? Is that
not these people?
Well,
they had a clock. They had a clock that like 5 times out of the day it would just and you had to fucking start praying.
Yeah,
or it was bad news.
It's part of their religion. I don't know if
it was deep religion. It wasn't just like Catholic religion, like be a nice guy, you're a fucking bitch. Like it was like real religion. Like you couldn't eat, right? You got to wear dress pants and shit. Like it was a real religion.
That's like just like the everyday part of the. That's like the base. That's like the religion 101.
Right.
Catholicism is just be a nice guy. She's a bitch. What's
happening? It is.
Have you not been to church before? That's the general message. Be a nice guy. Give us $5. Don't hit your wife. Boom. Here's the body. Here's the blood. We'll rub this shit on your forehead. We're done. Go home. We got football to watch. That's the fucking plan.
Fucking mount right
Am
there,
I alone on this?
You just took it completely wrong.
That's it. I mean, I'm hitting bullet points, but that's the general fucking outline.
Go to a Catholic mass. After 5 minutes, people are rolling their eyes like, I can't believe it's been 5 minutes. I want to go home.
In Catholicism, you don't get mad if the dog touches the floor of your house.
Yeah,
that was a problem.
I never had a dog.
We ejected a guy from a party because he brought over a dog and set it down on like the living quarters floor. Mm-hmm. He was gone. Boom. See you later.
Well, I mean, could they prove that dog wiped his feet? No. So you got to go.
Exactly.
Right.
One time I got him drunk. He ate bacon. That's another story.
Wait, what?
I know. It's another story.
Ate a baby?
Bacon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I heard you.
Ate baby. You're getting old, Kenny. I understand.
I know. I still look great, though.
So she presents this problem that, you know, she's pregnant. And Rami, of course, starts, like, freaking out. He, like, whether this is true or not, he was convinced, like, my parents are going to take me back to Egypt and kill me. Like, I've committed, like, the greatest of sin kind of a thing. And he's like, we can't let this happen. So I'm a good friend. I sell cell phones for T-Mobile. I'm like, I might be able to talk her out of it.
Right. There's no way to Home Depot your way out of this one either. You know?
No. You can't. You can't go ask an old guy what you should do in this situation. Your friend's a what? Get out of my store. And Google wasn't that popular back then. You know, we had Ask Jeeves. You know how many AOL 500-hour discs we'd have to collect in order to... We go over there, and I do my best sales pitch to talk a young lady into having an abortion, which I regret in hindsight. But at the time, I had to add on the text messaging bundle, if you remember the T-Mobile reference. You know, I had to upsell this. And I did my best. I went in there. I gave a good pitch about how it would alter your life. I tried to act like I was a baby.
Well, stop right there.
Yeah.
What do you mean you tried to act like you were the baby?
I was like, could you imagine if you come home after working, you know, 4 hours a day at Hooters and you're all tired and you just want to relax and have a drink, but it's just nonstop. I did this. Like
right. I misunderstood. I thought you were the baby
You've
saying...
been doing that a lot lately.
I thought you were saying that the baby said you've been working 4 hours at Hooters all day, and now I want to cry, because that's a very educated baby.
If your podcast gets sponsored by Miracle Air, it would go a long way.
We will after this.
I do my best.
All right, I got you.
She doesn't falter. She holds on. No, I love Rami. I want to have this baby. And I'm like, Rami, meet me in the bathroom, because it's a one-bedroom apartment. There's not a lot of secret meeting spaces you can access. And I'm like, go in the bathroom, And so he goes in the bathroom. I'm like, hey, man, look, this isn't working. What you have to do is you have to crush her. All right, what you have to do is you have to come out, you have to yell, this is not going to happen. And then walk up to the fireplace that the picture of you is on the mantle, slam that picture down, and then storm out. And I'll be there, and I can re-glue the pieces back together. And we'll fucking make her add on a sidekick and an extra line. Like, we'll get this all together. I know. And he does it. Very good acting job. Not a thespian, but a very good acting job. And he leaves. She doesn't take the hook. Right. She
crafty.
Fucking, dude, she slammed me down. She didn't get a fucking new activation. So I was like, okay. I get in my dirty van. I drive back to Rami's house.
50% of the story is about cell phone usage.
It's improvisation, Kenny.
So he runs out, yells at her, smashes a picture, and leaves. And she's like, no, I want to raise a baby with him.
She's hysterical and like, he's just mad. He's just upset right now. The dog got scared. It's going to be okay. And I'm like, your life's over. Just shut it down. Shut it down. I'll drive you to Planned Parenthood right now. It'll cost $68. I don't know how much it actually costs, but I felt like if I threw out a number, we could just manage the increase. No, I don't think we were meant to be together. And I worked on it for like 4 hours and half a bottle of tequila. And I tapped out.
Wait, you were drinking half, or was she also drinking?
Oh, yes. Fuck yeah, she was. This is St. Charles, Missouri. Do you think there's ethics running rampant?
This baby is extremely important to me.
She's probably taking cigarette bong hits. She doesn't give a fuck about life, future, anything outside of herself. Jesus Christ.
Holy moly, that's St. Charles royalty right there.
I'm telling you, man. Exactly. And I did my best. I tried to talk her into the fucking New Deal. She didn't want it. We went back into the house. Then she had this thing where like every Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday, some fucking like Thirsty Thursdays or Wasted Wednesdays, like some TGI Friday marketing campaign to get us over to her house because she had lost a lot of friends in the big disaster split. And we go over there, and then she was like, well, good news, I'm not pregnant.
Oh,
just
that is good
snap
news.
of the fingers. Yeah, I went to the doctor today because it was, it was all bloody and it was a mess. Turned out I had a miscarriage. And even though we're just a couple of dumb dudes, we're like, that's not how miscarriages work.
No.
Like, you don't just have an accident, then it's over. Like, it's a traumatic, horrifying experience. It's not like you went to Schnucks to get Mountain Dew. Like, there's some gravitational to it. And sure enough, it turns out, we find out that it was a fake pregnancy. That she just made up this pregnancy because she wanted to hear Rami say that he loved her. And boy, did it go in the opposite direction.
Oh, wow. I'm sure John Cougar Mellencamp couldn't have wrote a better song about this situation.
Oh, we are far from done. Far from done. I wish that was it. I wish we were young enough and intelligent enough to be like, we dodged the RPG. Let's just leave and cut our losses.
We dodged the RPG.
Right. Rocket-propelled grenade.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Very interesting analogy. Go ahead.
We dodged it. We're okay. But Rami's still talking to her and hanging out. And I'm thinking, because she was, she's a cunt, but she was an attractive cunt. And so I could see why it would still be in the orbit of just, having casual sex. Well,
It's really just because he's a man. would be why he's
a
in the order of
young
still
man.
having.
A young man.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you do crazy shit in your early 20s for fucking the warm pocket. Like, you do all kinds of fucking disgusting, horrible, traumatic. We're all friends here. Alan drank piss. I'm fucking bringing you analogies and ethics. Just a little respect. And so I'm like, he's going to fuck up again, right? This is just a matter of time before the next big, fucking disaster reels at us. And one day he shows up at my house at 8 o'clock in the morning. And he's like, Steve, get out here. And I'm like, I normally wake up at like noon. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, for me, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. This is an emergency. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, come here. And we go out to his car, right? And he's got a joint. And I'm like, all right, things are getting better. I'm paying attention. And he lights up this joint. We start smoking. His phone rings, and he picks it up, and it's on speaker. And it's Rachel, and she's crying. She's like, where are you? Where are you? I'm ready to go. We're behind. And he's like, look, I don't want to be with you. I fucking hate you. I never want to see you again. Fuck you. What are you talking about? We're supposed to be leaving. How could you do this? We're not breaking up. We are not breaking up. She just flips out, right? And then, like, it's going to the point where, like, he's like, no, I don't want to be with you. She's obviously not receiving that message, but he's a comic at heart. So he starts talking, and then he just busts into some Arabic and then goes back to regular English. So he's like, look, you don't understand. We're not going to. And it's like a big gag.
Who is the Arabic for? Because I know you don't speak Arabic, and I've known you for a while.
Right.
So he was just speaking Arabic just to say it?
Just because it's such a guttural, crazy tone.
Yeah.
To shift that way between that and no, I'm sorry, we're not. And fucking, I don't do a good Arabic. I'm not a cultured man.
I don't think anybody in this room does. So let's just move on from
I also like that other languages are just irregular English.
I tried to go deep from the throat. Yeah. It's very guttural.
Oh, man. How do you think we sound to people in Minnesota?
So he hangs up, right? And I'm like, what the fuck was that all about? And he goes, this is what I did. I called her, and I told her, I said, look, I am actually a prince in Egypt.
Wait, what? That was his get out of this relationship?
Oh, no, it's going to build.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking hit your ear.
Go ahead.
I am a prince from Egypt. And I don't know if you know this, but I have advanced knowledge of a terrorist attack that is imminent.
Oh, boy.
I have found out that on, whatever date of the month, August 14th, 2004, that there's going to be a terrorist attack. What, Rami, what's going to happen? Well, you know how Los Angeles is sinking into the ocean? It's not, but if you live in St. Charles, Missouri, fucking might be. No. You're not a fucking wizard. You don't have a crystal ball.
Fair enough.
You don't know. You watch the Weather Channel. They don't mention it, but it could happen. It could happen. He goes, you know how Los Angeles is sinking in the ocean? And she goes, yeah. He goes, the terrorists have devised a way to sink the United States of America. Not Mexico and Canada, just the United States of America. So what I need you to do is I need you to take the dog back to your ex-fiance. Don't say anything about this to anybody. Pack a bag. I'm going to pick you up at 7:30 in the morning. We're going to go to a private airport. We're going to fly back to Egypt, where you will be treated like royalty. You can only bring one bag. So just pack one bag and then give the rest of the shit to your friends, because they're all going to die. Okay?
This should have been in a chain email.
But she's like, okay, I understand. And she does all these things, right?
There was almost a baby inside of her. Almost.
Yeah, if you live in Narnia. Ain't no baby going in that hell, woman. Those are barren fields, Kenny, barren. So now, that story, that happens. That's legitimate. And again, I'm not the main contributor, but I played a strong Robin to his Batman.
Yeah.
And so after that, we go partying, we start drinking, just caring about our business. Fuck that bitch. Blah, 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 blah. Right? About 5-6 months goes by. I'm staying at Rami's house. I've been crashing on his couch there for a couple of weeks. I wake up in the morning to the knock at the door, and I answer the door, and it's 2 Jehovah's Witnesses, and one of them's got a cast on his leg. And I'm just like,
the first time,
right? Like, this sales pitch is weak. I'm not even fucking talking to you guys. And I'm like, just get out of here. We're all Muslim, all right? We don't want anything to fucking do with you. We've had enough of your fucking stories in your tower. Fucking beat it. All right? And the guy in the cast responds with, Federal Bureau of Investigation, we need to speak to Rami right now.
So just to be clear, they weren't Jehovah's Witnesses.
No. They were worse, if you can believe that.
But they still left you with a copy of the Watchtower, correct?
Yes. Well, there were some towers involved, but they eventually fell down.
Hey! Yeah, that's getting cut.
But I'm like, oh, shit, Rami hears this, and he fucking perks up right away. Right? And he comes downstairs, and they go into the kitchen to talk, and I go upstairs. And as I'm sitting upstairs, I hear the guy go, all right, man. We heard 2 things. One is that you were going to sink the United States of America.
Which we all know can't be done, so.
Can it? We have cars that drive themselves, Kenny.
No.
Are you a climate denier? Stop with the side jokes. We're coming to the big
I
clubs.
do deny that climate exists, all right?
Or it can be
I've
sunk.
said that for years. It's a scam.
And he goes, we heard that you were going to sink the United States of America and that you were going to drive your car into a gas station and blow it up. And I'm a comic, so I'm like, he could only do one, right? Like, if you think about it, he could only pick one route. Is this multiple choice? Is there another? And Robbie very calmly walks out, and he looks up at me on the balcony and goes, Steve, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, I just, I had to say that. And so
He looks out the bay window and says, Steve, shut the fuck up.
Steve,
And the whole thing came full circle.
shut your whore excellent at construction mouth. So he's talking to him, and I can still hear him. And it turns out that this girl, Rachel, called her supposed best friend and taunted her and was like, I know something you don't know.
No!
Like, I hope you lived a good life and you're not ashamed of anything. Like, I hope you made good decisions. Like, you should probably hug your dad. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm just saying, like, tell your parents that you love them.
Either America is going to sink or a couple people at a gas station might die. What?
Eventually, enough ribbing. This bitch actually told her best friend that she was going to die in a terrorist attack by being sunk. I know, it's fun to say. And that she was going to live. Like, she was rubbing the fact that she was going to survive something that would kill everybody she's ever known. And her friend was going to, like, that was like her version of, like, high heel shoes at a discounted rate. Like, that was her level of bragging about her best friend dying with Nemo. Like, that's... And so her friends panicked, called the FBI. The FBI has to investigate every scenario, regardless of how ridiculous it is. But then it turns out that they were excited to talk to Rami because he spoke Arabic, and they wanted to hire him as an interpreter.
Yeah! Who are you?
He didn't take the job. He didn't take the job.
He didn't take the job? That's a well-paying job.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was like, dude, Steve, like, what if I get this wrong and people die? Like, what if they're using some slang term I'm not familiar with that means something else, and now I have bodies on my head? So he didn't tell him no. He said, I have to think about it. They gave him a card, and they were like, if you ever get into trouble, give the police this card.
Are you for real?
It worked 4 times. It worked 4 times. Pulled over with weed in the car, just smoked a joint. Can you step out of the vehicle? Are you sure I have to step out of the vehicle? We're fine. Just go about your business. Use your blinker. Make St. Charles a better place. That's the end of the story. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Steve Poggi. Man, all of these people, all these people down are protesting all over St. Louis right now, and all they have to do is learn Arabic, you know? Arabic. I said Arabic, didn't I? Yeah. Fuck y'all! All right. Did y'all have a great time, ladies and gentlemen? You all were a great crowd. Give it up for your storytellers tonight, Steve Poggi, Meredith Hobbing, Rock Patel, and Alum, the P stands for urine, Williams. Also give it up for our guest tonight, Carmen Lagala. Are you going to be anywhere, Carmen, that they should know about? Where can they find you on the interwebs, Geocities by any chance? Angel Fire? I don't know.
What?
Yeah, that's for old people. Go ahead.
At Carmen Lagala on Twitter. I don't know. If you're ever in New York City, I perform there a lot.
Right? Or if you're ever near Twitter, she performs there a lot as well. Also, give it up for Amy Milton. Larry's. My name is Kenny Kynes, and this show will be next month at the Flyover Comedy Festival, St. Louis's first comedy festival. It's for the 9th through the 11th, so please buy a ticket so that we can eat, you know. And check out the podcast. You can also find us on Spotify. What is the other one that you kids go to? Skyrim? That's not a thing. iPods and that other shit. So check us out on those. My name is Kenny Kynes. Please drive safe. Enjoy the rest of the night.